So here's our assembly. If you want to make a drawing out of it, we're going to click on new, click on make drawing from part assembly, and then you will see here we've got some standard formats. You don't have to worry about it because this piece of paper here will not appear later when we convert it to AutoCAD. So you can choose anywhere you like. The display sheet format, we're going to uncheck it because we don't need SolidWorks title block. We only need our own title block. We're going to make our own title block in AutoCAD, so we can just turn off display sheet format, and we are going to get a blank piece of paper. Again, this piece of paper not that important because when we convert it over, we won't see it. So even your 2D drawings, the views, they can overlap or they can go beyond the paper. There's no problem. The paper here is just for illustration. Let's put a view inside. Say I go to drawing and click model. You can see here are the models that I have open. If you want to open something else, you can click on browse, but say I want to put in assembly 1. I'm going to click on next, and then you can see I have a few options here. I can choose whether to show it in exploded mode or not. If I uncheck it, means I put the normal view. I can choose what view I want over here, and very importantly, I can choose the scale. We are going to put 1:1 for all of our views. This is something that you have to double check, because when you put in your views, SolidWorks will try to fit your drawing scale based on the paper you chose. We are trying to override that. So we're just going to put 1:1, and once we put down a view, we can put other views based on the first view, the base view that we put. So this is called a projected view. If you want to manually put in a particular view that we want, we can always choose from here, this layout over here. I can choose to put an isometric view or whatsoever. Say I want to put isometric view and I click exploded. If I put this in, you can see this is now the exploded view, and this is probably a different scale. Let's check. There we go. They put 2:1 for us, so we want 1:1. Make sure it's 1:1. In SolidWorks, once you have put down the view, the advantage is that you have a lot of flexibility. You can explode it, you can do section views, detail views, and all that. Here's a very useful one. If we click on section view over here, we can choose to slice our product here, or our whatever we designed, either vertically or horizontally, or along some angle, or even along a multi-line over here. So let's say I want to make this, then I would have, there you go, a section view created for me. Now this isn't necessary. Our product here isn't very complicated, but it's just there if you want to use it. Exploded view, we can do something like a balloon. So under annotation, we can click on balloon, and the nice thing is SolidWorks can label everything for us. You can see here the balloons will label everything for us. We can either put the balloon numbered, or we can put the name of the part. It's up to you. So what we can do this in conjunction with is with the bill of materials. When we are creating our drawings, we want to make these 4 kinds of drawings. We'll go through that later. So now that we have our layout, everything is where we want it to be. Make sure the scale is 1:1. We are going to save it as a DWG file. DWG. Then SolidWorks is going to complain. They will come out with a dialog. You can ignore it as long as you've made sure that all your views are 1:1. So now we have this here. We can see, here's our assembly. We've created that. We can now open it in AutoCAD, and AutoCAD will complain. They'll say probably something about this drawing wasn't created in AutoCAD, but that's okay. as long as everything is fine. And now in AutoCAD we can manipulate it as we would as usual. So for us, what we want to do is, now you want to add your dimensions, you want to add your center lines and things like this. You have full control of the drawing. Let's talk about our bill of materials. A bill of materials is just a table. That will be the simplest. It's just a table. Item number 1, what's the name? Item number 2, what's the name? A full bill of materials may have information such as what's the material, what's the color, what's the price, who's the supplier, things like this. It really depends on the what you want from the bill of materials. In this case here, we can just put a simple one. That will be 1 page. An assembly view is something like this. Normally, it just shows you what is the final look of the product. There's usually no, there's usually no dimensions other than very basic dimensions showing you what is the height or the breadth, the depth, and all these kinds of things. So that's an assembly view. That's 1 page. The exploded view, as we know, is something like this. You've already done this. The important part of an exploded view is there must be labeling. So you have to label, this is a particular part, this is another part, and then that will tie in together with your bill of materials. And finally, you have your part/detail view. These are used interchangeably. People will say part, people will say detail. That means there's drawings for each of these individual components, meaning you've got about 10 parts, so there's 10 pages for your part drawings. Your exploded view is 1 page, your assembly view is 1 page, and your bill of materials, you can put it together with assembly or exploded, or you can put it as a separate page itself, meaning you're looking at a minimum of 13 pages, 12 or 13 pages, somewhere around there.